And whenever you're ready, are we ready to go? Ben Bullard.
Hey, hey, Peter Young, great to be here. Great to be here. Happy International Day of Peace.
Happy Peace Day. See, this is really bizarre for me because I'm not usually in front of a camera. I usually sit back in a control room somewhere screaming at people. So this is unique for me. So bear with me as we stumble through this.
No, you're absolutely right. It's all, we make the road by walking. So it's great to be here with you and Hubcast and your amazing team right around the world. And it's just a great joy to be here on this special day, Peter.
Well, yeah, as well to you, Ben. I remember us doing this once again in 2020 when we did this from our studios in Vancouver, and again, this is a great honor for us to do it again. And to say, I wanted to kind of get you updated on what we're doing around the world, and I thought this was a great opportunity to talk about peace and how media and audio and music and all the amazing things in the creative arts of really has always been something that we all kind of go to. Think of the pandemic, especially of music is the thing that has connected this world and has continued to connect this world for centuries. So again, I'll let me introduce you. I want to introduce the four groups we're going to talk to today. So we've got four of our teams that's come into the show today. We've got our team in Africa. Our team in Vancouver, Isaac and Ezra, who's in our studios that are about I'm an hour away from where I am right now. And then I've got New York. I've got Kimyon Huggins, great friend and group over there in New York City. And we've got our Basil Chillers and CNOTE in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in that incubator down there. And of course, Africa, we have Michael Benjamin. Michael is in our New Kampala office in Uganda. So it's nice to meet and thank you guys for all joining us today. And as I say, we got a lot of stuff we want to share with you. I know we have a short period of time. We were running a bit late getting started today, so my apologies. So Ben, let's get right to it. And how are you doing? How's the Peace Week been going?
It's been amazing, Peter. As you said before, we did the Caravan of Unity together in Hubcast and Unity Earth and all the crew back in 2020. And that was built up to Peace Weekend back when the International Day of Peace on the 21st of September was a Monday. Now with it being a Wednesday, it's been amazing. Just the amount of events across this week. Absolutely just inspiring to see how many different groups are coming together, through music, through transformation, through, obviously there's a massive global crisis in so many different ways right now. So people are coming together with their solutions, and it's very, very exciting. So Peace Week's been great. We're on day 5 of Peace Week now, so we're about halfway through. There's a few more days to go, but we're building up to day 99 on Saturday of the 99 days of peace through unity.
Well, and again, I'm honored that you allowed us to pick Peace Day as our day to come on and share a bit of our stuff with you. And again, our whole thing and a little bit about Hubcast is Hubcasts. We've been around since 2016 in this iteration, and our whole goal has been about connecting communities through content. I know the show is talking about connecting through culture, but we identify that the best way to create peace is to have people connect through relationships and knowing one another and co-creating and co-collaboratory opportunities. And so really what we identified, there's a lot of places around the world that just don't have access to the infrastructure that we have in Australia and Canada and the United States and the Western world. So our mission has been to put infrastructure into developing nations, allowing them to tell their story and have them be part of a bigger global conversation. So again, I wanted, where this all kind of started from, and one of our first groups is a really interesting story. I want to take us over to our Vancouver studios, and Isaac Loureiro, who actually is our general manager and managing director, of our Hubcast Media Africa initiative. Isaac on the right-hand side, and one of our first artists we worked with when we launched our studios is Ezra Kwizera, and both have a very interesting story. And Isaac, if I could, I want you to explain where your background is. Isaac, we found quite an interesting situation. We met in Vancouver. Isaac's moved here from Uganda, raising his family in Vancouver, but has quite a large influence back in Uganda with regards to media. So Isaac, introduce yourself and let Ben know what you kind of all about.
Ben, how are you?
Good. Happy Peace Day.
Happy Peace Day to you too. Well, my name is Isaac Loureiro. I've been in the media industry for a while in Uganda, but just to make this short as our time, I own a CEO of a TV station, Channel U East. We focus on uplifting East African talent, strictly East African talent from ground up, from music to entertainment to comedy. And right now we're doing a partnership with Hubcast, putting it all together, lifting it all together. So that's where we are right now.
Very cool. Very cool. Bringing the stories to the world. That is awesome.
So Ezra, again, it's interesting story. Again, Isaac is Ezra. We met back in 2016, and Ezra has a very interesting story, and we're going to actually run a video clip to talk about that. Ezra, you again, refugee from Uganda, came back into actually left Rwanda in the genocide, and then went back to rebuild a music industry in Rwanda to help with peace and connection and community. Ezra, what is some of the key things that you found? And actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's run your video, because I think we did an interview with you back in 2016 that I think kind of really sets up the story, and we can talk a bit about it when we come back from it.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. I am here with the man himself, Ezra Kwizera. How are you, Ezra?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Yeah. And we're here to learn a little bit more about you. Well, actually a lot, because we're going to start at the very beginning. Yeah. Ezra, let's talk about where you were born, where you're from, and we're going to get to what brought you here to Vancouver. But where are you from? I'm from Rwanda originally, but I was born and raised in Uganda. That was in '78, then moved to Rwanda in 1995. 1995. Yeah. Everybody knows what happened in Rwanda in 1994. Yeah. Why did you, first of all, move back to Rwanda at that time after the genocide? So I grew up in war, grew up seeing, people dying, people falling. And then at the age of 12, in 1992, that's when RPF kind of started attacking Rwanda. And then in 1994, that's when the really genocide started in April. So in Uganda, we would watch it on TV, watch it on, you go at the Lake Victoria or River Nile and see dead bodies coming floating from Rwanda to Uganda. And you were a teenager at that time? Yeah, I was a teenager. I was 13, 14. And then in 1995, when you decided to move back to Rwanda, did you move by yourself? Did you move with your family? I moved by myself. I asked my mom. I said, Mom, we should go back let's go back. And everyone is moving. And my mom was like, yo, we can't just move. This is our home. I'm like, no, it's not our home. And I was like, and I was like, do you have relatives? Is that uncles? And she was like, yeah. So somehow she trusted me to, and she was like, okay, get on the bus. And she sent me to go and live with my uncle in Rwanda. And I remember crossing the border, I was so happy. But then, like 2 kilometers inside, people would show you, they were like, oh, that's a dead body, that's a dead body. There were still dead bodies on the streets.
I can't imagine what that was like. What was it like for you as somebody so young?
I think it was all because I was raised into it, growing up in the suburbs and seeing, I was used to that kind of, like seeing someone dying or seeing a dead body. It wasn't so scary. It was like, to me, it was a normal thing until I became an adult. And I was like, oh man, that's
not normal.
Yeah, it's not normal.
So you're a teenager, you moved to what you've always dreamed of as your home,
As
to
my
Rwanda.
home, yeah.
What did you do? How did you settle in?
In the beginning, I was just excited. I was so excited, just being in Rwanda, just like, speaking my language, just not worrying about being a refugee.
You felt like you were finally home.
Yeah, I was happy. So it's sometimes, even though there was like poverty,
Devastation.
there was army, there was
Yeah.
landmines, you have to be careful. Like you'll be driving and then you see a car blowing because they stepped on a landmine. But still, I was like, at least I'm home.
And when did you start playing music?
Since my childhood.
So it was always with you?
Yeah, music, I remember the reason why I really chose music to be my my profession, because it's kind of my medicine at the same time. Like when the soldiers would break into the house and put us on a gunpoint, and my mom would start singing. And she would sing maybe a hymn song, and you feel safe, yet you have on a gunpoint on your head.
Wow.
And so we grew up singing.
And let's talk a little bit more of the music, because of course that's why we're here right now. Ezra, you ended up building a music studio.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
In 2006, opened up my own studio.
And what made you decide to do that?
Because it was expensive. It was expensive to go and record in the government studios.
So everybody had to record at the government studios?
Yeah, it's the government owned the studios. No, there was no private studios. Because the country, after the genocide, the government focused on infrastructure, building up the country and education and other stuff. So with me, as a musician, having a studio, I realized that there's no studio, there's no private studios. So I set up a studio, and it was supposed to be a home studio.
Just for you to record your music?
Just for me to record my music, because I had a chance to come to travel out of Rwanda, and I got someone, a friend of mine helped me to get the equipment, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll have a studio in a home, cool stuff. Then later, I was like, oh, many musicians need this. So that's how I started rebuilding the Rwandan music. Because among the things that died in Rwanda, even musicians died, talents died. So that's when I started the whole vision. I was like, okay, now don't focus on you, focus on others too.
And what was the reaction to that? Because obviously you just built this in your house, it was just for you to record stuff, and then you realized there was this big need and desire of other musicians to have a place to record. What was that experience like for you, discovering other artists who were excited about this?
I didn't even discover them. It's them that came to me, and that I said by training them, teaching them. I had an opportunity of having a music vocal trainer. I'm a vocal. Part of my first profession is a vocal trainer. and I had a chance to be trained by a really American vocal trainer, Marlene, I discovered many artists coming to me for help. And the more I recorded for them, the more, some of them, like I would say at least 10, the first 10 artists that I helped, they became more famous than me. They became known.
You got the magic touch.
Yeah, so I could see them growing. I could see them making money. I could see them playing stadiums.
Where do things stand with your music studio now? Of course, you live here, you go back to Rwanda regularly, every year, you spend a few months there. So tell me, where are things at with the music studio?
I want to grow the studio. I want to train more producers. I started by training producers. Now I have about over 15 producers that I've trained, and 6 of them, they have their own studios, and they train other producers. And to me, that's a way of rebuilding the country. I just talk about like one of the producers who's the biggest now. He's almost one of the biggest producers in East Africa, not just in Rwanda. His name is Pastor P. He's one of the first producers I trained. The first computer he sat on was my computer.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2005. He was from the village. He had nothing. But now he travels. He goes to France. He goes to the US. He just did a 5-month tour in the US, recording different artists. Rwandan artists get on tour, on a world tour. So this hope in the first 5 years of the Rwandan music, we didn't know even the tradition. We were playing like American music, because it's these people from different countries, people from Congo, people from Uganda. Everyone is bringing in different styles of music. And I was like, wait a minute. What happened to our music? So that was when the whole dream or vision started, rebuilding the Rwandan music.
And do you feel like you've accomplished that?
Yeah, I feel I haven't. It's still a journey. It's a journey because when we talk about 1 million people dying, it's like it might be like 25 years. It's 25 years ago, but still it feels like it's yesterday. Because they still need. When you look at the TV stations, people are still getting used to even trusting the media, because the media was the key to the genocide. Like Rwanda had
spreading the message.
Yeah, the message of hate.
Yeah. Now,
it's like even people getting used to music or to concerts and all that stuff, and people paying money to go to a concert. It's they've just started growing and loving it and enjoying their own culture. When a lot of time when people hear about Rwanda, they still have this image of the 25 years ago. But Rwanda is so beautiful, and it's growing. It's so peaceful. People are not killing each other. People are living, are breathing. People are singing, and people are celebrating.
My heart cries out with the death of an Assad hope. When I see the pictures of my brothers dying,
Wow.
my heart cries out with the death of an Assad hope. When I see the pictures of my sisters dying, how much more blood must you drink, Mama Africa? Oh, why me? How much more blood must you drink, Mama Africa?
Wow. Amazing. It's when you think of that story, and Ezra, I gotta give you credit, man. You totally really, really took something that was so dark, and you've turned it into something that actually really inspires a lot of people. Ben, as I say, people like Ezra really are the people that are taking us through these challenging times. And
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
again, for me, it's such an honor to be a part of that journey. And actually, speaking of journey, Isaac, you know, we're onto a new album. Apparently, Ezra, you got a new album that you're about to launch. Why don't you guys talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, mate. Where did the title "The Journey" come from, by the way? The title, it's kind of a story of my life, and this album is it's a West African tradition album, and all the songs that talk about my journey, the journey of overcoming. You know, like as a boy who was born in Namuongo, and now I'm a father of two. You know, I'm a mentor. So it talks about the journey and how my journey inspires me. In the beginning of my journey, I used to hate it because I could only experience pain, hardship. But now it's like, you know, I take care, have a family, I travel, I inspire a lot of young people. So it's kind of like, I'll say it's my journey, but let's say it's your journey too. Mm. We all experience pain in a different way. I can experience it through anger, and then you can experience it through grief or through poverty or something.
I understand.
But it's at the end of the day, we're all on a journey.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is there like a particular favorite song of yours you have on this album? Like one that especially one you enjoy performing the most?
Well, the one I really enjoy, it's kind of a deep song, and it's about my mom. It's Mama.
Okay.
And I talk about, you know, this uneducated woman who raised 7 kids by herself. You know, she suffered. She never really got remarried. She had to take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I love singing that song. Every time I sing it, it kind of takes me back to that moment, my childhood.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
So what does Peace Week mean to someone like you?
Peace to me, even with most of the songs I compose, they're around peace. And growing up in Uganda, you know, like through Idi Amin, Obote, all those civil wars, what we need is peace. And then going to Uganda, we're going back to Rwanda, you know, sing the same people, the same color, the same language, killing each other. All they needed was peace. So for me, I promote peace, and even that's the fact that it's a peace week. Mm-hmm. I think we should have a peace year. The whole year should be, you know, about peace.
Well,
because I think we all need peace.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Pia, I think back to you, Pia. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks, guys. Well, actually, I think we should probably end up this segment of Vancouver. Ben, anything you want to add? I think there's a song. I want to listen to the song "Mama" that you speak about. We have it actually. I think it's his latest video. Ben, before we do that, is there anything you want to add into this?
Yeah, what an inspirational story. Thank you, Ezra. Thank you, and thank you, Isaac, for bringing it to you know, attention through Hubcast. And just to say those stories through music of overcoming the worst kinds of adversity and trauma, and to use the power of creativity to bring some beauty into the world. Just deep bows, brother. Very, very beautiful. And by the way, we're hearing your song before. I was loving I was loving your voice and your music. You're obviously very talented, so I want to hear some more. But really, really inspirational to have you in Peace Week, Ezra.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, let's close out this segment and with his latest video just been released. It's called Mama.
This song is for my mama, mama Esamba kichingo richi mama, kugira ngo umenye ishimwe riri mu mutima wanje. Nabyinshi wakoze kugira ngo mbahondo wabwiwe nabi na benshi yuzura umunabi. Imbaraga z'umutima yo zirutisa amaboko yo, ko wicaye mu ntebe y'ababiri uyuzura burumwe. Yari ifite amaguru abiri wayibereye ukwa gatatu, yicaramo sinayirima. Ay, mama, I love you so much, so much, oh, mama. I love you so much, oh, mama. Beautiful is what we call you, mama. Mighty woman, warrior, blessed woman, yeah. Peaceful at the same time. You're a fighter, mama. You're a giver, not a receiver. Forgiver, tell me, mama, are you do that? Are you do that? Can I get more? Bless my mama. Igwe Oluwa. Thank you for my mama. Oh, mama. Mama, I love you so much. So much. Mama, mama, I love you so much. So much. So much, oh, mama. Thank you, Oluwa.
All right. I guess I'm by myself. We're waiting for Ben to come back. Wow, what an amazing segment. And it's amazing because we're going right across from Vancouver, and we're going to go all the way to the other side to a group that we've been working with. And Ben, this group is actually a group that I think you might have met, a group called The Future Is Now, specifically the founder, Kimyon Huggins. We've been doing shows with them for about 1.5 years on Sundays. Small apartment, Bushwick, New York. Just an amazing group of people that are really trying to connect the diaspora, but also amazing stories. And what they do is they do first segment of their show. They do interviews and talk about world issues. And then they go right into, I call it art and EDM, but I know Kimyon won't like that. But let's invite Kimyon into this. Kimyon Huggins, Ben Bullard. Again, what an amazing group of people. This is one of our first hubs we put out in New York. I gave Kimyon a bunch of gear and said, go to it, man. Let's see what we can create. How you doing, Kimyon?
Doing great. Beautiful day in Brooklyn.
Well, again, I cut a little video together. You haven't even seen this, Kimyon, but let's run this. It's about 1 minute video. It really kind of explains what you do, man. But we'll come back and talk to you further about what's going on.
Sure.
Actually, that wasn't the video that I cut together. That was a video that you were running. Sorry, Kimyon. Uh, I cut together. This was late last night. I cut together a video that incorporated your DJing with art, because really what the future is now is about getting creative collaboratories going on with making these amazing wall murals of painting while you spin music. And maybe if you could just explain that to us and Ben, really where the futures now came from. It's something that you and I first met in New York back in 2016. I'd love you to share if you could.
It'd be a pleasure. So Futures Now started as a physical event in 2011. We did the first one actually in Detroit during the movement, like the Electronic Music Festival. And so basically those original parties were physical events where we'd have a group of DJs. The first one we had, 5 artists that I brought from New York to Detroit. Pardon the train, that's real New York subway noise back there. So, but we brought these artists together and had like basically a living installation of floor to ceiling art and DJs playing. So we did large shows in that format in New York, Miami, and Detroit. The largest one was in 2013, where we did about 75 artists and 3 days of music programming in a gallery in Chelsea. And then the pandemic, we were planning for a big, large concert style show, multiple days as well. And then the pandemic happened. And right before the pandemic, you and I started talking, Peter, about just the iteration of live streaming of, multimedia culture. And it really fit with what we were doing and the community that we're building. And so the iteration came out of the fact that we couldn't do things live. So we could do it in small, instances. And in our apartment, my apartment, actually, we were running as an Airbnb, and then that all stopped. And so we decided to make the studio a production studio for this show in particular. So we invite, an artist and a DJ to work next to each other in unison, creating something unique every week. And you're selling us a little short because we're coming up on 2 years of shows. So we've done October will be 2 years. So we're pushing 100 shows. We've got an amazing body of work from everywhere, from emerging artists to really renowned global superstars, all coming together, creating in a space in the middle of the really what's the heart of the art world right now is Bushwick, New York. So
awesome.
That's a little synopsis.
Well, again, you're right. There's always that 1 year gap that with the pandemic, everything we lose track of time. You're right. It has been 2 years. Man, that's amazing. The thing that really amazes me with what you're doing, Kimyon, is the purpose in which is connecting community. Obviously, the Bushwick is an absolute center of culture and center of amazing artisans. It's like it's the new Greenwich Village, and I say that with it's more than that. It's amazing how the creativity happens there. You've also got a lot into the technology side. And again, here's some pictures. Actually, we'll just cycle through. But what's the next stage for this? Is I know we've talked about NFTs, we've talked about new technologies, the blending of the music that you're spinning and the art that's being created. Is there a next stage for Futures Now, like with NFTs and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the next phase is the commercialization part, which is, really monetizing. I feel that we've incubated very well, and crystallized what this format is. And I think that this format could go everywhere in the world, that every city could be doing a Futures Now with, art and music and culture, like to touch on the earlier part of the show, the Ignite Salon. Basically, the premise of that is, and our tagline is, the intersection of culture and technology. And so that's a very broad spectrum of discussion, but, our guests have been, leaders in business, leaders in entertainment and the arts, and really talking about how we can all use these, tools. I mean, the way we started working is like, how do we use the Hubcast platform to iterate and innovate these new forms of expression. So that leads to, physical events as well. Like the next thing I'd really like to do is a physical show that features all of this work, where we can have people come, have the artists come, invite people. Like that's really my wheelhouse. So this whole live streaming thing has been just touch and go and learning, but that's really what it's about, I think, as well, being an artist. But bringing it back to the physical event and having a show where we can feature all of these works that are really brilliant, and put that online. I mean, I think there's a real opportunity for the virtual space, and housing this show and having it hosted in different virtual platforms, and embracing the NFT side of things. I think it's just a natural and organic progression for what we're doing.
Absolutely. Ben, you and I, again, if anybody understands virtual events, you do. My gosh, Earth Day, Peace Week, Caravan of Unity, these events that you do, Ben, and are not easy tasks. And us spinning up a show out of New York or doing an event like this takes a lot of resources. And one of the biggest challenges that I've always come across with our creators is, how do we make this stuff sustainable? Sponsorship can only go so far. They need to be regenerative. And I think that's another thing that we're really trying to push on. And Ben, you've created so much amazing content in not only the music, but academia and talking about world issues. How are you finding that landscape of virtual events and just how to connect people out in the world?
Thanks, Peter. Well, firstly, let me say hello to Kimyon. Great to meet you, brother. And isn't it just amazing to have this incredible event where we're connecting, right across the world, from New York to Vancouver to Melbourne. We're going to go to Uganda soon. This is so exciting to be here at Hubcast, going to the next level of live broadcasting from multiple locations. But I hear you, Kimyon. There's nothing quite like the in-person experience, right? We get together for a concert or a gathering or an event. There's no substitute for that. But I think, what we've been forced to do over the last couple of years is take our work online. And that's true for kind of nearly everybody, regardless of their industry or their profession, in so many ways. But now I think what looks different is how we can utilize hybrid events. And I think Hubcast and you guys are right at the forefront when it comes to culture and entertainment and getting the good news out about the global transformation that's needed and is happening, about how we can have hybrid events in place with real musicians in real places and real people in real places, but coming together and shared through the broadcast quality. So I think we're taking a little step here today, but I think this is the way of the future, and I'm super, super excited about it, and great to be, kind of experimenting a little bit here, but more than experimenting, actually connecting through culture around the world.
Awesome.
Yeah, and in innovating, I would say that this is, the natural innovation is the combination of these things, and I think that it would be a travesty to ignore how we've all depicted that there's a global audience for everything in the arts, and that if we can present and be heard in these places around the world, there's people that are into urban contemporary art and music from New York in every corner of the planet. So like connecting with those people through those common interests and through, you know, initiatives of connection and finding, you know, I mean, unity, right? So finding our common ground as opposed to what makes us different. So I think, and Ben, we've met, it's been a few years ago, but we were working with Rhiannon on some things. It's been, I think, 5 or 6 years ago, but that's where we originally met. So it's good to make your acquaintance again and work with you on this project.
Yes, brother. Small world, and it's getting
Always
smaller,
right.
Kimyon, all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Right on.
Again, thanks, Kimmy, man. I'm going to move on to the next segment, but thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And I certainly will see you Sunday morning like we always do. And,
Absolutely.
and again, check out the futuresnowx.com.
That's right.
And again, check it out. It's a really cool show. And we have a lot of fun and some really, really great conversations, man. So support these are the projects that need support. These are the things that are really changing the landscape and connecting people and obviously creating peace and community. And that's all about. So thanks, man. I really appreciate you coming on today, Kimyon.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Hey, Ben, apparently I got Robert in the waiting room.
Yep.
Now. You told me about this project. We get submissions all the time in our offices and people wanting us to help with them with projects. This was something that just came in last week. You talked about. Maybe explain a bit about Robert and this project.
Yeah, so he's here with us. He's Mshiari Robert.
Let's
Robert,
bring him in. Actually, I think he's there. Yeah,
he's right here. So we connected as we were preparing for Peace Week. Mshiari was joining our weekly calls from Uganda and was sharing about the work he was doing with refugees, and he wanted to make a film for Peace Week. You know, highlighting the stories, exactly what we're all doing here together, but highlighting the stories of people from Western Uganda. So on the other side, from I think where Isaac is based, but Mshiari is well known to our friends at We the World. And We the World, of course, we're in the 11 days of global unity, and we're celebrating today the 11th day of global unity, being the 21st of September, which is all about unity. So it's a small world, and it's getting smaller. So Mshiari went and made this film. And brother, welcome. I just see you muted yourself, but let's get you unmuted. We want to hear a little bit about you and about. We're going to watch the film. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to see.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm called Mshiari Robert from Uganda, Southwestern, in a single district. I'm connected to With the World, and we are celebrating Peace Days. And I made a film with a passion to raise the voice of voiceless refugees on the ground to the international level on peace and unity, in peace and unity, whereby we discovered through deep sharing, we can discover the real challenges of the refugees in the refugee settlement in Akivale, and we found that very many people are there yearning for help, and they don't get help. The help they sent, the Western countries, they sent to these people, it seems it stops in the way. That is what we saw, because very many people are crying for help. So I raised the voices and I created that video basing on the challenges on the ground. So I request if you can play it so that you can hear what the refugees are saying. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, again, absolutely. We got this video actually, and I'd love to play it. Ben, shall we do that?
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's hot off the press. This is a world premiere right here on Hubcast. So let's go.
Awesome.
The Republic of Uganda is the refugee hosting country in East Africa. Refugees come from DRC Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, Somalia, and Sudan. Deep sharing and healing indigenous refugee families in Nakivale Refugee Settlement, Isingiro District, Western Uganda. Mrs. Kobyonjo Medias, a refugee family from Kahirimbi in Nakivale Refugee Settlement, has 3 members. Others were killed in DRC Congo, and their house was burnt by unknown neighbors.
twatura hwaha konke mbera ati yabantu twabugwa hecho kurya twabugwa heki twababo mushana weza umuntu upanga ukijwa takuwahinga ureke washarura mwana weza twazaho twazo mu mbera mbigumire itabonye mbona hati mwana tunkabashobirwe yabashobirwe ati no kurya tukuruho
and their house was burnt by unknown neighbors. They have open defecation, no kitchen, and lack of basic needs like soap, shelter, and etc. Mrs. Agnes has orphans and a father. Her husband and the mother were killed in DRC Congo during the war. Agnes and orphans are in need of basic needs like shelter, food, soap, etc. Mr. Moise Mbarishimana and family members sharing with us what they passed through in DRC Congo to Uganda.
Mama walikufa na sisi tukaona sasa kusema tufie pale, tukakimbia mpaka kuboda. Kwa kuboda tukaenda Kisoro tukavuka Nyakabande, wana wakatuleta hapa Nakivale. Kwa huko kwetu maisha ni mabaya. Vita ni kila siku, ni kugombana, amani hakuna. Kusema tuko hapa tu, tulikimbia, hakuna kitu tulikimbia nacho. Tulikuya kusema tupate amani. Na hiyo amani tufika Uganda, wakatukaribisha mzuri, wakatupatia fasi.
Mr. Moish Mbarishimana and his family. We are Congolese who ran from Congo due to civil wars through the border of Uganda and Congo, via Kisoro, Nyakabande into Nakivale camp. We ran without anything. When we reached Uganda, we were highly welcomed and we had no energy. Mr. Suraha says that we were brought to the camp and we had no energy, and sometimes we sleep without eating, and we have children.
Tunapata amani, tunalala, tunasinzia, lakini shida tu yenyewe tunaona shida tu ni njara, jua. Tunaenda hemea, unaenda tumikia kamutwaro, unakaemea chakula yenyewe hemea, mhaika shibisha na watoto. Shida ni ile, lakini nyingine tunalala, tunasinzia, tuniko na salama.
We had no energy, and sometimes we sleep without eating, and we have children. Sometimes we are given some little money like 10,000 Uganda shillings monthly from the World Food Program for our survival. Through deep sharing with refugees on the ground, we can help them out of psychological torture and discover their real needs.
Wow. Well done, man. Great,
Good job.
Great work. Good job. That's world premiere.
Yeah, and Mshiari telling the stories of those people who otherwise we would have no knowledge of their story. That's using the power of media right at the front line of Western Uganda with those refugees. So thank you for following through on your commitment, and we really, really appreciate it. And I hope that many people will see the film and that your organization and other organizations like yours can get more support to help the people who need it most. Well done, Mshiari. Great job.
Nice to meet you, Siga. And again, please reach out. We'll send you information to our group in Uganda. They're in Kampala. And again, whatever we can do to help you as you guys produce more and more content. I think the stories you guys are sharing are vital. They're told by the source, and they're told by people that know the best. And again, we tend to try tell stories of other countries from outside the story, and they really don't get the true essence of what the message is. So thank you so much for that. And again, it was great meeting you, and looking forward to connecting with you again.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm humbled, and I wish also to connect with you again. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Well, this is a perfect transition, Ben, because it's time to go to Uganda. We're over there already. Let's stay over there, and I'm really proud of this group that we brought online this summer. I spent I was over in Uganda for 2 months. Once back in October, setting the groundwork with a team over there, and then we took a whole studio infrastructure over there in July. And I spent a month, June and July, setting up our new offices in Kampala. For me, this has been a great, amazing milestone for Hubcast, because our whole reason of what we're building is to put these places and put these hubs in places in the world that need them the most to tell the story. And getting it into Africa was really, really an important step for us. And it was a huge infrastructure. And I get emotional because it's so important if we're going to really create change in this world. So let me introduce you to a very special individual, Michael Benjamin. He's over in Kampala at our office. It's evening now, obviously. Your morning, my morning, your night, I think, Ben. But of course, in Kampala, it's around late evening. Michael, how you doing, man?
Great, and I'm profoundly excited, to meet the whole group, and thank you for this platform.
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned to Ben, really this last 2 months have been absolutely just amazing in experiencing a team of people over there that, quite honestly, until I understood who we were dealing with and the type of talents there, I didn't know the type of talent that really was coming out of Kampala and Africa in general. Ben, Moses's background, and again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little video about Moses, just a little 2 minutes long. It kind of talks about not Moses, excuse me, Michael. We call him Bush, actually, because he's known as what'd you say? His professional title is DJ Bush Baby, and well known throughout East Africa. In fact, very famous personality. We were very lucky for him to come across to our team and lead up the African operations. Let's run this video and then let's connect in and talk further about what is happening over there.
So I'm actually self-made. It's not that I went to an academy or a school or whatever. No, I'm actually self-made. I observe, and I'm hungry. I'm intrigued by new things. Content. Any day, content and delivery.
Okay.
Content and delivery. And I remember the time Ugandans were on very high demand in Kenya.
Yeah.
It was because Kenyans were tired of the usual stuff. Guys were not, pushing the bar hard enough. So they were like, let's bring in Ugandans. They seem to have some good substance, and we represented. We really held our flag high. I mean, Shanice Kachungira went, and from a morning show host, she became a PD, a marketer, until she retired. Alan Kasuja, before he came back here, he went and he just took Nairobi by storm. Marcus Kwizera, who's my general manager at Next Radio right now, did the same thing. Hakim Saga did the same thing. Brenda Zobo. That exposure has taught me so many things, and how to handle myself and how to handle life. And I would love to meet more people, mentor, nurture talent. It's my passion.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, again, Michael, meet Ben. Ben, meet Michael Benjamin. So sorry. So tell us more what's happening right now in the studio. You guys have been going nonstop. I keep seeing videos come into my inbox daily. I'm blown away with the amount of stuff that you guys are doing over there. And tell us what it means to have a Hubcast facility over there.
Well, for lack of a better word, to me, Hubcast, to strategically decide to have a footprint in Africa, it's not just it goes beyond a strategic business reason. It's for a good cause. It's for a humanitarian cause. I mean, if you look at globally, there are verified figures and data indicates that Uganda is one of the countries that is a host, to the youngest population in the world, and that means that that comes with a lot of energy. These young people are so enthusiastic. They're hungry for the big stage. They're hungry to be appreciated. They're hungry to be noticed. There's that hunger, to showcase their abilities. But of course, over the years, we've lived in a space where we lack, the technical capacity. So Hubcast coming into this space by empowering us, through technical logistics, it means that now we have the power to, first of all, own our narrative. Our narrative has been hijacked, as over the years, it's been distorted. People say things about us that are not really verified or true, and being empowered by Hubcast, through technology and other resources, it means that now we can reshape the narrative and tell it from the source, and send it across the world. It's just an amazing time for me to be alive. For all the years I've spent in the industry, this is an opportunity I have at a personal level, looked for. My colleague Isaac Luero, who's with you there in Vancouver, can testify to this. We've always looked forward to collaborative, meaningful and progressive partnerships like this. And as you've evidently rightfully highlighted, just this morning we were actually late to set up for this gathering because we were in the field shooting lots of proof of concepts. So there's a lot of amazing conversations, amazing stories,
Oh, did we lose? I think we lost.
And see how we can support him as a group. Yeah, so it's just amazing. Like I'm just blown away. I have no words really to describe that.
Awesome.
Can I just jump in there real quick,
please.
Peter, and say, Michael, great to meet you. Great to meet you across the seas here. And that's just, I love the enthusiasm and that sense of what's possible. I want to share real quickly. We had a program yesterday on Peace Week, which was featuring a new movie that's been made, a documentary, which is called Ubuntu, and it's been made by dear friends of ours and our community, Pato Banton and Antoinette Root's daughter. But they've now done 2 trips to Africa, and they're getting set to do their 3rd, and they're documenting right across Africa, north and south and east and west, all the different groups and organizations that are orientated around this African spirit of Ubuntu. But the reason I wanted to mention it is because the filmmaker, they had the director, Kwizera, on the program yesterday. And he said something very similar, Michael, to what you just said. He said, and he was emotional, he said, normally, people are coming, because this is funded by groups in America. He said, normally people are coming to Africa. They want to make a movie. This guy's an amazing filmmaker. They want to make a movie of the poverty. They want to make a movie of the lack of infrastructure. They want to make a movie of the human problems. And, that's what he's been doing his whole life as a director and as a filmmaker. So he was so blown away that this project was actually showcasing all the amazing things that are happening in Africa, so that they can tell the story and share it out to the world. So, it's so resonant with Peter, with what you're doing with Hubcast. And congratulations to you, Peter Young, and everybody at Hubcast for having the courage and the commitment and it's the resources of time and money and everything to invest in this dream. But I think there's something here that the more we can give voices to Africa, the better it's going to be for the whole world. So just, want to applaud you and congratulate you, and keep an eye out for this movie, Ubuntu, which is coming out.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, and again, and this is just the tip of the opportunity, tip of the spear, because we've actually signed a number of large scale projects throughout Africa. And we have a project this fall in the DRC. We got another one in Ghana. We've got another project in Nigeria. We placed Kampala there in Uganda to be kind of the catalyst of our representation to help on these projects. Just like the video that you were submitted the other day. They need support. They need to tell their own stories. It's so important. If I could, Ben, I'm just going to show a quick 2-minute. You got to see what these guys done. This has been in the last 45 days. Let's do this quickly. Go ahead.
A soft drink, 1892. I think it's Coca-Cola. It was John Pemberton.
Fame is a problem. And I'll tell you, that is the root of everything. It is not that people want to do witchcraft. It's because that people want to get there very fast, that they don't want to take the stairs, and witchcraft is an elevator.
I'm proud of Uganda because it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. The nature is green, the sun shines 365 days of the year. We have different types of, flora and fauna. So really, this is Eden, this is paradise.
Well, music and fashion in Uganda are really intertwined because a lot of the time if there's a music event, people are going to get all dressed up, people are going to order outfits, people are going to raid boutiques trying to be, the most stylish. And sometimes you can actually notice the trends, like what's trending in Kampala right now, but just going to a music event and seeing what everyone is pushing on.
I think that the Nigerians have understood their industry, they're organized, they are, first of all, aggressive in how they do their things, but they're also like putting in the work, that it's not easy for someone to come with one hit and still sell out a whole stadium.
That's a very tough question because me, I'm still a virgin. Hey.
As a young person, the kind of Africa I would love to see in the future would be an Africa with strong culture.
My advice to the children to not forget that our environment is our future, and our future is our responsibility.
Man,
fantastic.
That's powerful stuff. And again, that's a series that we're shooting called Made in Africa. And it's all about understanding people, though. Just phenomenal, Michael. And again, I can't wait to see more stuff coming out. We have a lot of projects that are in the works for the fall. We've got a potential WHO project that we got coming up, talking about the how Uganda dealt with COVID. A lot of great storytelling coming up, and again, most importantly, being told by Africans about Africans. So for us, that's number one first. So thanks for joining us, Bush, and you know, on to bigger and lots of more fun things in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Pleasure's all mine.
Cool. All right. I know sense of time here, Ben. I know we're running over, and we're gonna keep pushing hard because I know you have a hard stop at 9:30, but we're gonna try and plug through this. I want to take you to a group that I think you were involved indirectly. We did a 24-hour New Year's Eve event back in 2019, 2020. It's back pre-pandemic, and Basil Childers out of Tulsa. We met first time, and we went on this amazing journey through a group we met on Brazil, Harmonizing Humanity, and all these other groups of people that participated in this. Almost like what you're doing, it's exactly what you're doing 99 Days of Peace. We just did it in 24 hours, and we went around the world with our technology.
Cool.
So let me introduce Basil. Basil, yes, come on in, and we have Basil and we have CNOTE, one of his senior producers. Basil, CNOTE, meet Ben Bullard.
Hello. Hey, Ben.
Hi, guys. Good.
So that was an amazing time. What year was that? 2019?
That was 2020 heading into 21. It was 2021 New Year's.
It was the thing. We literally, well, why don't you explain it a bit, Basil? You know, it was an amazing thing.
Long story short, about 2 weeks before Christmas, I get a call from the producers that were in Sweden. They're like, hey, so we're starting this event in Sweden with a bonfire with the Sami tribe on the mountain, and we want to broadcast it live. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. And so then I called up Peter and a bunch of other people, and in 2 weeks, over Christmas holiday, we gathered 200 people around the world and coordinated them for this. It was actually like an 18-hour straight broadcast, because it was sunset to sunrise in Sweden, which is in the north, so it was 18 hours. And we started lighting these fires around. We were also broadcasting this feed, the live broadcast, into our XR metaverse. I had Ozone Universe create as a prototype. So we were lighting a bonfire in the virtual world, in the meta world as well, with the intent to keep that one burning. But so that was pretty epic. And I think it was the end of that show. We had a special guest from Amazonia, Haru Kantunawa, the chief of the Kantunawa tribe, and he came on and just blew us away with the song and story. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, and you're actually at the new incubator in Tulsa, this amazing warehouse complex. It's huge. It's like, how many square feet is that space?
I don't know how big the space is. Indoor, outdoor, it's like 100,000 or something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a quarter now.
Yeah. It's a new space, Ben, that again, it's for collaborators, it's artisans, it's metal fabrication, it's media creators. Tulsa's really got it going, man, and we're so proud to be part of the Tulsa group. We did an event for South by Southwest, promoting NFTs and a program there. But again, having a team down in the Midwest is it Midwest? Hang on a second. It's Midwest. That's right. Is so important for us to tell the stories of not only that community of the diaspora of the African community that's around there, Black Wall Street, but more importantly, the indigenous stories of the elders. And I know you are very big on that, Ben, with a lot of the initiatives. You know, we're so excited to have this team down there to work with us to tell these documentaries and these stories.
Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you, Basil and
CNOTE.
Yes, nice to meet you, Basil and CNOTE. Hope to get down there to Tulsa one day.
Yeah,
for sure. So again, sense of time. What else do you got for us, Basil? Or
I think Jordan has queued up a 1.5-minute film that is a pilot, because our lead host here, or one of our lead producers and host, Paul Moots, is from Uganda, and he is somewhere over Africa on his way back to Kampala right now as we speak. He'll be landing in a few hours, I think. But
Okay.
I cut together a piece for a teaser show that we're working on called Lunch with Moots, and this is with Doc Shaw, and at the Big Ten Ballroom, which was where all of the famous Black artists used to play. You'll hear about it in the film back in the 40s and 50s. And so we're reopening that ballroom after 60 years of it being closed down, and that's going to be quite the venue for us moving
Cool.
forward.
Let's check it out, man.
Doc Shaw?
Yes.
How you doing? I'm good. How
Hey,
you doing?
what's up? What's up? Come on in.
Pleasure meeting you.
Absolutely.
I was told you're the guy I need to meet.
Okay.
They told me about this place, Big Ten Ballroom.
Yep, historic Big Ten Ball in the early 40s, late 40s and 50s and 60s. It was a major music venue.
Right here in North Tulsa.
Right here in North Tulsa.
Okay.
Ella Fitzgerald, Count Basie,
Whoa.
Ray Charles,
Whoa.
Ike and Tina Turner.
Really?
The original Temptations.
Oh.
Jackie Wilson.
Really?
Dinah Washington. They all performed here.
What?
Yeah, Otis Redding.
Oh my God.
And the gift just keeps on giving.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just been a major project for us.
All right.
To restore this, to restore history, where we help youth develop life skills, learning skills using music, theater, dance, videography, and photography, and technology.
Right. So it's a key place, a key moment that attaches them to the past, but also pushes them to the future.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I love that story.
We put this together because our young people didn't have anywhere to go, didn't have any, there were no opportunities for them to express themselves.
No outlet for creativity.
No outlet for creativity, you know, and so we decided to get the building so they can learn how to build sets. They can learn how to create their own original shows.
Right.
Because their stories are important. All they need is a space and opportunity.
Space and opportunity.
Space and opportunity.
Right.
And I'm seeing the fruits of my labor even now.
Sorry, I'm muted. I had to do it once. I'm doing too many things here. That's amazing. That's going to be an amazing venue, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is Phetote. Do you see him?
Yeah. Hey, man.
He's one of our lead local artists and poets, and I just wanted him to give a heads up on what we have coming up soon.
Cool.
So, floor is yours.
Howdy, I am Phetote Mshiari. I am a poet, a publisher, etc. I'm a fellow with Tulsa Artist Fellowship, and my main focus now is literacy. I want to eliminate the illiteracy tax. The illiteracy tax is the extra price you pay for not knowing something, whether it's in technology, whether it's money, whether it's reading or writing. Obviously, cultural literacy is important. We're going to help eliminate the illiterate tax, and we're doing that with an anthology called Tulsa Artist Fellows Inciting Literacy. And I want to incite literacy. Education is vital and it's important, and the de-education of our citizens is horrible for society. So we need everyone to be literate in every way possible. Being culturally literate, for example, helps to eliminate prejudices, because if I understand you, I don't have to prejudge you or have any biases to fill in any gaps that I may have about you or you about me. So it's important. Literacy of all forms is important for all, not just me. So that's what we're focusing on now, and that is a longer project, because I'm reaching out now to some experts in literacy, a lot of wonderful people who do wonderful work in literacy. And the more I learn, the more I realize that I don't know. So I have to become more literate in the book that I'm editing. So it's part of the process, but we grow as we get to where we're going.
Awesome.
But I am continue to unify. Umoja means unity. Let's unify.
Mucho.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mucho. Awesome. That's great, guys. And again, Ben, there's so many of these stories that I've experienced over the years about so much amazing information that just needs to get out in a platform get out in a direction. Again, for us, having groups like Tulsa, Uganda, New York, Vancouver, it's
awesome.
just we're collecting all this amazing content. Again, thanks guys in Tulsa, and I can't wait to see more projects coming out of that space now that you're in there. And again, I really appreciate it. It's been an amazing journey. And Ben, anything that you want to wrap up on this one?
No, it's just great. I mean, the power of art to help heal the world and empower communities and transform our current reality is what we need. Art can show us a better way, even when our reality is not good. Music, art, movies, these things can show us the world that we know is possible. So just deep bows to all you artists out there. We need you, and we need to shine a light on the incredible work that you're doing. So more power to Hubcast, and looking forward to an incredible journey together. By the way, Michael Benjamin, Antoinette Root's daughter, one of the filmmakers for Ubuntu, was hearing us talking before, and she wants to be connected to you because she's going to Uganda next month. So we'll make sure you get hooked up with her, and maybe you'll end up being in the film. So it's all part. Beauty will save us.
Awesome.
Thank you, Peter.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks, Tulsa, and Ben. I can't believe we're almost through this thing. There's just a couple more things I wanted to kind of share with you, and specifically towards the purpose of what why I did this and where this came from. Next steps for us is that obviously we want to create a space where all this content can go. You and I have talked about an initiative we called the Ignite Network Initiative. It's creating a global network that connects around the world. It's a vehicle for these artists to place their content in a place that they can collaborate, and most importantly, be remunerated and monetize their content. So we are actually launching a network called the Ignite Network in January 2023. We are in beta right now for the next 3 months. We are going to attempt a big world event on New Year's Eve. You saw we've done one before. We're going to do it again to launch this network. But for us, it's so important that we get these stories out to the world, and in such a way that supports the artists so they can continue to create content. It's great to tell these stories, but if you don't have the resources, it just it's not sustainable. So anyhow, I'm really excited to launch this, and again, watch out for January 2023 for that. Now, last thing I wanted to do with you, and Ben, you and I have spoke about this, and there's the Unite Network. It's coming 2023, and stay tuned. And we'll be sharing a lot more information about it. It's exciting. It's an IPTV network that is going to be used around the world. We're dispersing it in all continents, so stay tuned. So Ben, this last 2 years has been tough. We've lost some amazing people. Yes. And I get emotional because these people are people that really are, trailblazers. And you spoke of me of a person that this whole broadcast is in tribute to. And let's speak about him first, because I want to share something about where I came from and the whole thing.
Sure. So Avon Madison actually is an incredible peacemaker. She was instrumental in there even being an International Day of Peace. So it's right to be talking about her today of all days. She would always deny that she was involved, or she would, kind of brush it under the carpet. But she had a lot to do with it being established, and she had a huge amount to do with it being observed. The beginning of the International Day of Peace. You look at it now. 4 billion, 3 billion people are aware of it. It's along with Earth Day, it's our most advanced planetary day, right? It's a big deal. And billions of people around the world today. And Avon Madison had a lot to do with that. She's a co-founder of Pathways to Peace. She is an extraordinary light on the planet, and she She transitioned in October last year. And she was actually, Peter, we were co-creating Peace Week together. So we were talking about Peace Week before she left, and she was so excited about it. So yeah, it's pretty special to be here and to be remembering Avon and Philip Helmick, the legendary peace builder from Shift Network. They just opened a peace lab in just near Auschwitz in Poland. On our opening ceremony the other day, we crossed and they opened it. Nina Meyerhoff and Domen Kovenkar from the One Humanity Institute. It's the Philip Helmick Peace Lab. It's next to Auschwitz. I mean, there's amazing things that are happening, transmuting the darkness into the light. And yeah, you're right, brother. We are, not just standing on the shoulders of giants, but we're here because of them. Yeah. We are here because of them. So, we want to honor them and carry the baton as far as we can together, Peter, down the road.
Well, again, for me, my journey, I want to introduce you to someone very special, a gentleman by the name of Mike Mitchell. Mike has quite an amazing tenure. Mike was the executive producer of Live Aid. And Mike, please meet Ben Buller.
Michael.
How are you?
Good to meet you, Michael.
Oh, my pleasure.
And Michael worked with a gentleman that really started me on my journey. A guy by the name of Steve Robertson. I get emotional because Steve meant a lot to.
Steve meant a lot to all of us.
It did, and I promised myself I wasn't emotional on this thing, but Steve was an amazing man, and Mike and Steve had a vision Steve had a vision, and Mike got involved. Mike, why don't you speak a bit about your history with Steve and Steve Robertson and really what his world was about?
Sure. After, well, first I want to comment on your program and what Ben and you have been addressing. I'm kind of a third wheel in all of this, but it's incredible. It's moving. And I was raised in the 60s, and we talked about consciousness raising and a hope for, we saw a new world at that time. And obviously it wasn't quite realized, but the work that Hubcast and people like Ben are doing, I think are kind of a manifestation of some of those thoughts that we felt and saw in the early 60s when I was in college. But talking about Steve, after we did Live Aid, Steve had approached us, and he had a vision. He understood kind of the sense of community that took place with Live Aid, and he wanted to translate that. He understood the kind of transformative power of music. It's music in an odd way, goes past language, goes past a lot of things right to your soul, and so he understood that, and I was worn down by doing Live Aid, so I told him I would help him, but I couldn't do more than that. And he was a true, he was as committed as anybody I know, and in a sense, Ben and you have picked up that baton. Your commitment with Hubcast and the work that Ben is doing is in a sense a legacy to Steve, because you're in it full bore. And Steve he lived his life 100% committed to that vision, and not many people do. All of us, we have constraints and we're drawn in different directions, but he was truly remarkable. But again, it's you mentioned you were standing on the shoulders of giants. Listen, you guys are going to be those giants for the next generation. So anyway, my hat's off.
Michael, that's beautiful words. I just want to say one thing, Peter. I never met Steve, but his name was on my whiteboard for years because we were getting ready to go and do an event in Jerusalem. We ended up doing it in February 2020, just before the world shut down, and with musicians and artists. And I had multiple people tell me, you got to connect with Steve Robertson. You got to connect with Steve Robertson. So I had his name up there for a long time. And Peter, I didn't know him like you did, but I share in the celebration today. Steve
sadly passed on December 2021 on the solstice.
Yeah, it's just a
So
year.
very, very, very fitting. But I want to close out this broadcast, Ben, and I know we have to get on to the next because your next event is really important. I'm just.
Are you saying he passed? He passed September 21?
No, December.
December.
December on the solstice.
Wow. Right. Yeah, great.
And it was just really sad. But again, I want to close out this broadcast actually of what we did with them every year. Was the Peace Song Awards. This is a little highlight that kind of just finishes up this broadcast. Amazing. We did it every year from different places. We did in San Francisco. We did it in LA. Sorry, in LA usually is where it's done. But again, Ben, thank you so much to allow us to have this platform, and Michael, thanks for joining us today. It's been a marathon. I can't believe we kind of squeezed it, and I know you got to get going, Ben,
we got 50,
on your next thing. So let's. Sorry.
We got 50. Well, we just cracked 52 people watching live on our one stream over here. So that's great.
Well, again, thank you, so guys, and please reach out. Hubcastmedia.com is our website. We're going to put more and more stuff up there. We'll talk about the Ignite Network, but please connect with us. We'd love to help you where we can. It's about telling stories. It's about giving people a platform. And again, we didn't get a chance, but Mike's got Better Worlds, which is amazing. What's the website of Better Worlds, Mike?
Betterworlds.com. Betterworlds.com.
Very similar to us, doing amazing content storytelling. It's so important. It's so important that we're doing that. So let me leave this with
Peter.
Yes.
Peter, congratulations.
Thanks.
That was awesome. Well done to you and the team.
Yes.
That was great.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ben. And again, we'll connect soon. And again, thanks, Mike. Let's roll it, Jordan.
Guys.
Welcome to the second annual Global Peace Song Awards ceremony.
I love music's power to inspire, to empower, and to uplift humanity toward a greater sense of love, connectedness, and peace.
And here we are celebrating the beauty of these brilliant musicians who have dedicated their life not to writing just pop music, but to write music that is meaningful to the heart and soul and transforming our hearts so that we can be liberated into kinder, more loving and caring human beings. That's why we're really here.
I can see peace, I can see wars, I can see sunshine, or I can see a storm.
And it helps tremendously to hold a consciousness of love. So I invite you to use it and share it.
I wrote We Are One as a mantra, a celebration of our interconnectedness.
Music for the greater good and to make the world a better place.
This is about sound as medicine, and here in my heart is just one expression of finding that peace within to the world that we can be bridge walkers every day.
Oh, it's such an honor to be here today, and the song Be Somebody's Angel is actually about how good it feels to do something good for someone else.
I'd like to dedicate this to the life and legacy of freedom fighters Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela, and to the country of South Africa.
Love is this uniting force that everybody needs, and whether we know it or not,